Hey everybody, welcome back to my Project 13. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I hope I have the lighting at least somewhat decent. You can see me and you're not seeing too much of what's going on back there because there's a mess going on back there that I'm going to get to within the next week. There's a lot of cleaning to do and a lot of stuff to go through and get rid of and just some rearranging. Anyway, wanted to talk to you about the notch on the LG G7. I'm not going to talk to you about anything else that has to do with the device itself. I've created a lot of content for you to check out in the style that I would create it and how I review any smartphone. If there's anything that I missed in all the videos that I've uploaded, and a lot of the information I give you about any device I review is through vlogging, not necessarily here at my desk, hands-on. There's a lot of videos out there that do it that way. I tend to give a lot of the reviewing process, the pros, the cons, my thoughts, anything and everything that I need to talk about usually comes out in vlogs. But if there's anything I missed, leave it down below and I'll do my best to get to it. But the notch is a very important area for me to talk about because it was one of the reasons I didn't want to pick up this device or any device with a notch. I didn't want that to be a distraction. And it's still somewhat a distraction, but because this device is really, really an awesome device in so many different areas, my cons are very minimal. There's just way too much good going on with this device that's allowing me to be forgiving of the notch. But it's there. And yes, there's a way to mask that area in the settings, in display. You have a second screen setting that allows you to mask that, and you have different choices. You can use the black all the way across the top, the black bar, a gray bar, and there's some color schemes going on to give a little extra pizzazz, a little extra flavor. Whatever you want to choose to mask that area. But there are certain areas that you can go into, like the web, the Play Store, YouTube, where you'll still see the notch. My Google feed, you'll still see that notch. Even though you're choosing to mask it, for some reason it's not masking it all the time. So depending on where you're going on the LG G7, you're going to run into the notch. And when I'm watching movies and videos, laying down in bed at night before I go to bed, I like to watch a little bit of a movie, sometimes 15-20 minutes, kind of wind down my evening. You can see that notch off to the left hand side of this because I'm holding my device like this. And so for me, let me bring the LG G7 over here. The notch is over here, so I'm watching the movie like this, and you can see it there, and it can be distracting to the eye. But the display, the 6.1-inch IPS LCD display, is so beautiful that the distraction isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I will turn the camera around and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to play a movie and I'm going to turn off the lights, and I want you to see what I'm seeing. But I have found with the LG G7 that the notch still isn't my favorite area. I wish it wasn't there, but it is. And yet the device has given me so much that I found myself being okay with it, being forgiving of it, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to play a movie, and then I'll play a YouTube video, and then I'll go into different areas and I'll show you what I mean by the notch still being visible and not masked like it should be. Okay, and you can let me know what your thoughts are down below, and we'll go for that. All right, we're going to turn this around. All right, let's get into the settings quickly here so we can go through this and not spend too much time because I want to show you what I'm seeing. Display, new second screen. As you can see, I have mine set to custom to have the black bar go all the way across to mask the notch area, to hide that notch area. And I've also chosen on my app corners to have that significant corner so the top and bottom of the display match evenly with that. If I chose this option, a little more squared off there, and the bottoms obviously have those significant corners there. But I don't like not having this area at the top of my display not match the bottom of my display. And as you can see on my display on my G7, there is no light leak in this area where some of you are having issues. And I've hoped by now that you have been able to return your device, exchange it, and get one that doesn't have that light leak. I had a little bit of a faint one on my very first one. I wasn't going to return it, but then I decided, well, you know what? I think I'll do it. Talked to a rep, told me to go to a different store, exchanged it out, and I have a perfect LG G7 when it comes to the display with no light leak. Anyway, let's get out of there. So at this point, I should have a black bar all the way across from left to right, right to left, without having to see the notch. If I go over to my Google feed, no notch. And let's go into an article here. And as you can see, there's the notch. See, if LG is advertising the G7 in a way where it's telling you, the consumer, hey, if you don't like the notch, you can hide it. Just go into settings, choose the option to customize and hide that. No matter where I go, that notch should not show up, and it's showing up right here. Now, if I'm just in my Google feed there's no notch, but if I go into an article, well, there it is, right? Now, if I go over to Amazon, for a moment there, it looks like it's not going to show the notch, but then it does. Okay, and there's the notch. If I go to Play Store, there's the notch. If I go into YouTube, there's the notch. But if I go into, oops, get back in there. If I go to a video, let's go over to TK Bay.
Carry out a large
no notch.
Pizza Hut pizza for just $5.99 when you order online.
Okay, let me put this on pause. That little bit of a dip there, the reason you're seeing that is because of the Poetic tempered glass screen protector that I put on my LG G7. I should have actually, when I put the screen protector on, I should have put it up just a little bit higher. The trim around the screen protector is black. It's just a tiny bit of trim all the way around. So what you're seeing there is actually the trim on the screen protector. So if I would have actually put it up a little bit higher, you wouldn't see that. It'd be straight all the way across the top of the display. So that's my fault, but it's not a big deal to me. So if you are going to be putting on a tempered glass screen protector that comes with a black trim, just make sure you just adjust it up a little bit higher so you don't see that. Okay, so anyway, if you're playing the video there, there's no notch, right? But if I get rid of the video, there's the notch. Crazy. So, you know, the thing is, LG is advertising this device as far as, well, they're telling the consumer that you can hide it. If you want that option, if you don't want the notch, you can hide it. And yet, realistically here, what you're watching is, at moments it is hidden, but at other moments it's not. And if you're choosing that option in settings, and you're using this device the way it is out of the box, LG Skin, you're not using any other launcher, because if you use any other launcher, you're not going to be able to hide the notch. Okay. It's not going to work. The functionality of that setting will not work. Okay. Here and there, but 95% of the time, no. Right now, it's like 50-50. I'm going in the settings. I'm choosing to hide that area, and it's not being hid completely 100%. And that's the way it was advertised. But am I doing okay with it? Yes, I'm doing fine, because the device is giving me so much. There's so much good that like I said, I've been forgiven of it. So what we're going to do is go into a movie, and I'll show you what I'm seeing there. Okay, so I got a movie going. You can see that the black bar from top to bottom here on the left-hand side is significantly black and you cannot see the notch. So this is the way I hold my device when watching movies or videos. Okay. So you got moments in a video where there's obviously, we're in a moment of this movie where it's daytime. And these guys are in a boat. They're on a river. And wow, that area is doing its job. It's hiding the notch. But I don't watch movies like this when I'm laying in bed. Okay. I watch movies like this. Now, if you look over to the left, you can see that the moment in this movie got a little bit darker, and you can see the notch area right there. Okay. Again, it's not that bad. It really isn't. But at times, depending on whether the moments in the movie are darker or lighter, that area can become a little more visible with the notch. Or how you're holding it at the angle. You can see that right there, right there. And actually, after the first few movies and videos, laying in bed, or sometimes actually out here on my couch, my little love seat. I've watched movies out here on my devices. You know, I've gotten used to it to where it's not that much of a distraction anymore. Again, sometimes it's a little more significant than other times. For the most part, yeah, I've gotten used to it. So this is an area that you can get used to. But you let me know. I mean, let me know if you watch a lot of videos and movies in the dark, when you have your alone time and you're, just hanging out with yourself. You want to watch, you know, a little bit of whatever on your device, and you have a device that has a notch. And if you have the option to hide it, is it really working for you? Is it not working for you? Is that a distraction? Is it not a distraction? You know, I'm still going to say I'd rather not have the notch. It's not something that I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to tell you, hey man, I've gotten used to it. I really love it. No, I'd rather it not be. But I found that unlike a light leak on your display, this is an area that you sort of get used to, and it doesn't become much of a distraction after a while. Again, there are moments that it will, but then there are a lot of moments that it won't. Okay, so you can see, okay. Okay, here's another movie. And this is a dark moment in this movie. And you can see my Christmas lights I have on the ceiling of my garage, the reflection. But you can really see the notch there. And when it got really bright, it went away. But then it gets dark and you can see the notch right in there and right there. Again, depending on the angle. So that's what I wanted to show you and share with all of you when it comes to the notch. Again, you let me know down below what your thoughts are on this area. So here's the deal with the LG G7. The notch and I, we have a love-hate relationship. Am I going to be able to put up with it? Yes. Do I still wish it wasn't there? Yes. LG should have been a little more clear about how well you can actually hide that area. It is what it is. I got a great deal. A great deal I couldn't pass up. I got 2 devices for 1. And that's one of the areas that I've been preaching about all along in reviewing this device. Do not pay the full price for this device. Look for a deal. And it's worth it. The notch, well, sure, at times I'll be distracted by it. I will be annoyed by it. But I'll be able to be forgiving of it. And that's the message in this video when it comes to the notch on the G7. Because it's got a lot of good going on here. And that's what I wanted to share with all of you out there in YouTube land and wherever you may be from. Thanks for taking the time to watch me here on my Project 13 talk about my love-hate relationship.